Revolutionary greetings, comrades. We always ask this question: how many Zimbabweans are in the diaspora? I remember at some point I was talking to one journalist who's based in the United Kingdom, who was saying over 5 million Zimbabweans are in the diaspora. Of course, I tried to engage to say, but Chief, where are you getting this number from? But was insisting that it is over 5.5 million Zimbabweans in the diaspora. Some journalists will put a figure for those in South Africa between 1.5 million to about 2.5 million. Some, they will say there are 3 million Zimbabweans in South Africa. But we know that there's no census that has been done in the diaspora to establish the number of Zimbabweans that are outside the country or are in the diaspora. And when we speak in the context of South Africa, the sense that one gets is that a quarter of the population of Zimbabwe is now in South Africa. But the Zimbabwe National Statistics Agency has released a preliminary report on migration. It's a census in 2022, The document in front of me, it says 2022 Population and the Housing Census Preliminary Report on Migration. This has been produced in 2022, but the journalist that I was talking to in Botswana says he has also made inquiries that this covers a 10-year period from 2012 to 2022. The document deals with the internal migration inside Zimbabwe. People moving from the city to rural, from rural to urban. But for the purposes of this video, we're not going to cover that. What we're interested in is to understand the international migration, how many Zimbabweans are in the diaspora. So it says here, I quote, it's under international migration. During the 2022 Population and Housing Census, data on international migration was collected for persons who moved into Zimbabwe from other countries and from Zimbabwe to other countries. The data collected enables production of statistics on stock of foreign-born population, a country of birth, and the stock of foreigners, citizenship, and immigrants. Remember that when you are in South Africa, you are a migrant, you have a child, the child assumes your citizenship. We have always advised that you go to the Zimbabwean consulate to apply for your child's birth certificate, which will indicate that the child is born in South Africa, but the child is born to Zimbabwean parents. In fact, that is a Zimbabwean birth certificate. So, immigrants, the 2022 Population and Housing Census recorded a total of 236,246 persons who were born outside the country, right? 236,246 persons were born outside the country. Remember, I said I spoke to a journalist in Botswana, now in Gaborone, who says he understands that this is a 10-year period from 2012 to 2022. So we should not say that 236,246 persons were born in 2022 because the year is not ended. So it's a census that covers 10 years. The highest number of the foreign-born population was born in South Africa with 137,594 in the last 10 years. Of the 137,994 persons born in South Africa, 23,476 persons were residing in Matabeleland South. Matabeleland South is my province. The highest number of foreign-born population were recorded in Harare province. with 37,209. Of the 37,209 persons residing in Harare, 16,018 were born in South Africa, right? Let's then check under immigrants. Data on the number of persons who used to be members of the 2022 population and housing census households and they were living outside the country was not collected. It was not possible to count migrants whose households were no longer in existence during the time of the census. We will skip with this because it might not be of interest. Then we'll skip the graph that shows the ages of people that are emigrating to other countries. It does a breakdown in terms of the ages, but mostly it's young people, which of course will skip the highest level of education completed of people that are emigrating. And the reasons for emigrating, according to the graph that is here, it says 84% emigrated for employment reasons. 84%, that is 761,548 out of 908,907. They migrated for employment opportunities. Then 9% and 5% emigrated for family. That is 9% for family and 5% to study abroad. We'll skip with the rest. Let's come to this one, which is interesting. There's also a graph that will show year of departure from Zimbabwe and country of destination. And the figure, it goes high in 2021. So there have been people leaving the country. The number has been going up. Now, let's get to this. This is where we have a lot of interest in. It says immigrants by country of residence. The data indicate that the most immigrants from Zimbabwe were based in the Southern African region, and in particular South Africa, with 773,246 in the last 10 years to South Africa, and Botswana with 47,928. Remember, when I started, I said a colleague who's a journalist in the United Kingdom was saying it's over 5 million. So I was saying, no, Comrade Mabena, let's just get to High Point in Hebrew and start counting people there. Let's go to Alex, let's go to Tembisa. The numbers are high. But here in the last 10 years, it says 773,246,000 emigrated from Zimbabwe to South Africa. This also explains, you remember that in 2010, 295,000 people applied for Documentation Zimbabwe Project DZP. It was 295,000 and 245,000 permits were issued in 2010, which of course in 2017 it was around 178,000 and now it is lower. So then 461,293 males migrated to South Africa with 311,953,000 females. So the total number, according to the census 2022, which covers a period of 10 years, of Zimbabweans in South Africa is 773,246. Then you have 47,928 in Botswana. There's a breakdown in terms of males and females. Then you have Malawi, coming in with the 1,008. We have Mozambique with 9,477. We have Namibia with 5,600 and just a sec, my machine is playing with me. Namibia 5,660, Zambia 5,076, then United Kingdom 23,166. So United Kingdom is the highest, UK is the highest country where Zimbabweans are. Firstly is South Africa, 773,246. Second is Botswana with 47,928. And then United Kingdom, 23,166. Then, of course, we have United States of America with 8,565. Canada, 3,420. China, 2,067. Australia 6,473, then other African countries 6,207, other European countries 8,754, other American countries 445, Asian countries 6,965, other countries 34. Not stated is 350. So there are 350 Zimbabweans who are not known where they reside, in which country they reside. So the total number of Zimbabweans in the diaspora, according to the census 2022, which covers a 10-year period, is 908,913, just below 1 million, right? 9,008,913,000. I don't know what tools they used. So when I was talking to this journalist, I was saying, look, Chief, there were complaints when there was the census results were released or made public, where it said Bulawayo is very few people. I can't remember whether they said 600,000 or so, the city of Bulawayo. So there were a lot of discussions around that, saying, no, this is a political census and so forth. But it now says 908,913 Zimbabweans are in the diaspora. It is not a million. It is not me who is saying this. It is the Zimstats. You can Google the document. It is there. Consult Mr. Google is going to tell you. It is 773,246. No, 773,246 Zimbabweans in South Africa in the last 10 years. Now, we do not know whether this stats covers people that left the country through undesignated points, whether they also cover those that did not leave through the official exit point. In other words, using a passport, getting their passports stamped at the border post for them to leave. So we do not know whether it covers that. So if it does not, one would then argue that no, the number which is given here might not be accurate, because the question that then arises is which we have not done. I'm not sure whether South African authorities or even Zimbabwean authorities have done that, to say, and it's going to be difficult to say how many people enter the country through unofficial means. So it will then help to come to a reasonable number to say how many Zimbabweans are in the diaspora. Remember, also this has an effect in the diaspora vote. We always talk of a diaspora vote. So if we are talking of a diaspora vote, we are saying 908,913 in the diaspora are eligible to vote. That is, if these are adults. Remember, there's a breakdown of ages, so I did not really analyze the ages. And the ZANU-PF always argues that you cannot have a diaspora vote because of sanctions. And we have said there are no sanctions imposed on the government of Zimbabwe by SADC countries. So at the very least, you need Zimbabweans in South Africa, in Botswana, in Malawi, and the rest of the region to participate in the electoral process where they are. You have 773,246 in South Africa. Remember, I said I did not analyze the ages to arrive at a proper figure to say how many of the 773,246 who are in South Africa are above the age of 18, which make them eligible to participate in the electoral process. And of course, those in Botswana, 47,928. Let's then, comrades, hear your comments in the comment section. We talk of influx of Zimbabweans in neighboring countries. And the stats from Zimbabwe says, no, you have less than 1 million Zimbabweans outside the country. Let's have this conversation. What do you think? Please share your views with us in the comment section. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel and kindly circulate this circulate this video to your friends, colleagues, comrades, and everyone, so that we have this discussion, because it is interesting. Next video, we want to draw a comparison with the remittances that are sent to Zimbabwe. Remember, the Minister of Finance, Professor Mthuli Ncube, presented a budget, which I don't have in front of me, but I'll check in the next few days, to say how much is the Zimbabwean diaspora in terms of remittances contributing to the Zimbabwean economy, which the Minister of Finance in Zimbabwe speaks to, and then compare with the number of Zimbabweans that are in the diaspora. So let's have this conversation, comrades. Otherwise, Amandla.